Hello there, Internet. I'm Jake Katz. Nice to meet you. So, I'm here today to give you a little glimpse into the world of whiskey, like so many other people do from time to time. But I want to talk about a specific topic today. I want to talk about single barrel whiskey, single barrel bourbons. Not exclusively, but bourbon is my whiskey of preference. I want to talk about single barrel. What is a single barrel? Why is it different? What is it about a single barrel that you might want to go after? What might speak to you? I'll tell you what speaks to me. So part of that is different. Single barrel is different. You may have heard before, when you age a whiskey, every time you age it, each barrel, even if they were right next to each other, in the same building, on the same level, in the same rick, they turn out different. So why is it that the bottle I get off the shelf always tastes the same? What do I mean by that? I mean standard issue shelf product. So some familiar brands like a Buffalo Trace or Bullet. These are two normal bottles, Buffalo Trace, Bullet. Delicious by all means. Wouldn't call them anything special, but certainly not something I'm afraid to drink. I mean, hell, this is off my bar. I drink it all the time. So how is it they get the same flavor in this bottle every time? I'll tell you, the answer is blending. So if you've ever seen the labels that say small batch or limited edition small batch or anything about batch, the reason is most bourbons are done, or most whiskeys are done in a batch unless they're single barrels. So by that, what we mean is they take a bunch of different barrels, could be anywhere from 5 barrels, 10 barrels, all the way up to 750 barrels, 1,000 barrels, a little bit of everything. But they take that, yeah, I mean, really, the number's limitless, how big a tank you got. So when you take those barrels, you've got professional tasters. Damn, what a job. Wish they'd pay me to do that. They're sitting there, they're tasting out of each barrel. They're gauging it as it ages, as it matures in the rick house. And they're determining what that flavor profile is. Why are they doing that? They want to know how the product's maturing, when it's going to be ready, and which of the multiple flavor profiles that barrel is producing. So the reality is, every distiller, even if they try to make the exact same thing, if they're doing a natural whiskey, it's going to be impacted by the environment, the weather, the barrel, and a lot of other factors. Weather, temperature, barometric pressure, literally humidity, all of these things. So these are going to impact the finished result. And literally, like I said earlier, barrel to barrel, right next to each other. So there is, though, a similar level of profile range that is yielded from each location, from each distillery, from each mash bill. So you can at least predict that somewhere between here and here is the variety I'm going to get. You don't have the variety that's all over the globe of whiskey. So they know the variety of profiles they're going to get out of that mash bill, out of that rick house, etc. And they know what they're looking for, and they know how to combine it. So you take a little bit of this side of the spectrum, a little bit of mid-spectrum, and a little bit of this, at this other end of the spectrum, you blend them all together and you get that consistency and you taste it all along the way. And so you go, oh, it needs a little bit more of this. So then they tweak it, they add a little bit more, and they adjust it till it's standard product. Exactly what hits that taste profile. That's how they repeat it. It's because it's a blend of different profiles, they work feverishly to make sure that they can keep that consistency batch to batch. By contrast, now we're going to talk about the world of single barrels. All these bottles here, other than this one, these two, sorry, are all single barrels. You may tell me, well, but they look the same mostly, other than the Russells right here. They have Private Select printed on the label. But for the most part, they do. However, each different distillery and company distinguishes their single barrel just a little bit differently. So for instance, when we look at Buffalo Trace, this is the standard Buffalo Trace bottle, Buffalo Trace label. I'll give it a quick little 360 for you. And of course I've got a topper in mind. I pull the cork off because easy access, why not, right?
You like easy access.
Amen. By contrast, if I hold it like this, you're not really going to see any difference, except for the fact that this one still has the foil on top. But now we turn to reveal the key. This is how Buffalo Trace chooses to distinguish their single barrels. This golden sticker. So any Buffalo Trace product that's a single barrel select is going to have one of these stickers on it that's going to indicate what it is. This bottle right here, shout out to my boy Steve, Germantown Village. Thank you, Memphis, Tennessee. This right here is a Germantown Village single barrel select Buffalo Trace. That gold sticker is the only way you really know that. So that's really the only difference. So you got to be keen about it. You got to look. You know, so for example, more Buffalo Trace product. Sorry. Another much more coveted, much more beloved Buffalo Trace product, Old Weller Antique. So again, you've got your red label, your screw on top, just like you have these days normally. Turn you once again to the label. The label is the distinguisher. The little sticker is the distinguisher. Again, that's how Buff Trace does it. Other companies do it differently. For instance, let's shift to a Wild Turkey product. Killed that recording.
There you go.
For instance, let's shift to a Wild Turkey product. Russell's Reserve 10-year rye. I am a big fan of this this beverage, standard, but this is a single barrel. I'm a bigger fan of that. Variety being the whole reason. Russell's until lately had the same label on the front, but distinguished with these neck tags, these hanging tags. These neck tags include the exact barrel number, the rick house, and the floor. You can see that right here on this top line up here. And then down here is whatever the selector decided to put on that label, in this case, Big Red Liquors. So, this is a Big Red Liquors single barrel Russell's Reserve rye whiskey. It is absolutely delicious. It's 55%, which is 110 proof. And this one actually has a nickname. This was released last year, 2019. And this one is Honey Nut Cheerios. They distinguish that with an additional sticker down here. That is something Big Red did on their own and opted to do. That was not done through their selection at Wild Turkey. But again, all kinds of different brands, all kinds of different types. Very common bottle, the Blanton's bottle. A lot of people very familiar with this. Cute little horsey and rider on top. But again, gold sticker. It's a Buffalo Trace product. And this is how they distinguish it. So, trust me when I say the world of single barrels is very unique, very enjoyable, and something well worth exploring. But before we explore, what are the tools of the trade? Well, let's properly sip your whiskey and try to distinguish. My personal recommendation, and really the recommendation around the world, is to use a tulip-shaped glass. This happens to be a Glencairn, one of the original whiskey styles of glasses that was developed and recommended. Similar to wine, the shape has a big impact on the opening up the breathing, the palate, the ability to smell and concentrate the spirits. So it really does have an impact on your experience. So I highly recommend Glencairn or any tulip-shaped glass. It can be a stem tulip, it can be a stemless or a baseless. It can be little baby Glencairn. They all work as long as it'll hold your whiskey and let you taste it. So when you get into the world of single barrel, trust your palate, don't trust much else. It is all distinct, it is all different. So it's really something where all I can recommend is that you just dive in and try it for yourself and figure out what it is you like and what it is you think, because they are all different. And that's personally why I go with the world of the single barrel, because it really allows you to try your own style and explore your own palate on a more refined level than just standard shelf product, which you already know what you're getting there. But if you want to explore the deeper corners of the bourbon world and you want to explore the flavors out there and how much unique and interesting stuff, the cool thing is they're kind of once in a lifetime things. Like, you know, for instance, that Big Red Liquors bottle. that barrel will never be made again, at least not exactly and not on purpose. There may be something that ends up similar. But this barrel was only sold to Big Red, through Big Red, to their customers. That's the only place you're going to get this barrel, and that's the only time this barrel is going to come around. Next time, they're going to have a different barrel. So it's really a neat world, and I highly recommend if you can come across some single barrels and find them and try them and play with them. I really, really recommend it. It's definitely something that's going to explore your palate, expand your horizon, and it's really opened my eyes to a lot more to experience. So I hope you get to enjoy it. I hope you get to try it, and cheers.